Hey, welcome back to the crossover podcast episode 4. We are live again. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving holiday. Your Black Friday was safe. Your Small Business Saturday was also safe. Thank you for tuning in once again to the crossover podcast, and we have some hot sports topics for you and sports takes. Oh, we just went live. Hey, hey guys. Once again, thank you. Welcome back to the Crossover Podcast, episode 4. Even though it says episode 6, this is the 4th episode. Thank you again for tuning in. It's great. It's great to. Even though I can't see you all, thank you once again for the support. We're coming at you with some hot sports takes to help you work off that food coma. I hope you had a safe Thanksgiving, a safe and secure Black Friday, and also a safe Small Business Saturday. For those who don't know, the day after Black Friday is Small Business Saturday. So thank you and welcome again. And now I'd like to welcome back to the show CT3. He missed last week's show due to schoolwork. And as always, school comes first before podcasting. So we'd like to welcome him back, and I'll let him share his thoughts.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Uh, Last week I had some homework to do, but as Kylan said, homework comes first. But I'm looking forward to what we'll have to talk about today. Um, Happy Thanksgiving. I hope y'all didn't eat too much. And if you did, well, that's all right. I did too. So, but it's good to be back on the podcast to be able to talk about sports. Um, and I didn't know, Kylan mentioned that the day after, I guess, next Friday or whatever it is, Small Business Friday. That's interesting. I didn't know that. But I guess we get right into it, Kylan. You want to start off? Start.
All right. Yes. Let's talk about our Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, we're going to start off with basketball. Um, it's so good for our 76ers now. They had a little win streak going until yesterday. Unfortunately, when they lost to the Chicago Bulls, they had a little home win streak going. For those of you, some of you might be saying, well, yeah, they have a home winning streak going, but they're still 4-12. They're still one of the worst teams in the league, and you'd be right, but they're not the worst team in the league. That distinction belongs to the Dallas Mavericks and the New Orleans Pelicans, unfortunately. So the Sixers are improving. They won their last 2 games at home. They broke an 180 game losing streak. So for like the last 2 or 3 seasons, they hadn't won a game back to back until this year. So when they beat the Wizards, and then before that, I forgot who they beat, but they beat somebody else before that, and they did it without Embiid, and that was Jallo Okafor. So it was the Wizards. Dang, and I don't know who else. Dang. But anyway, so they started like a little win streak up until yesterday when they lost at home. But it's looking good. Embiid is looking good. They finally took Jallo Okafor off the men's restrictions, so the future is looking bright. But CT3, you go ahead and share your thoughts about our beloved Sixers.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you said, last thing you mentioned was Jalil. Jalil's off of his minute restriction, which is good. And I think once Joel gets off of his minute restrictions, I think we'll see the Sixers really pick things up. Now, I think I don't see them as a playoff team. Maybe they could sneak in and be an 8 seed. You know, kind of sneak in towards the end of the season. And but I don't necessarily see them as a playoff team. I see them as a team that's going to win 30 games maybe. It might along the way might scare some really good teams. Um, but if I was watching, I guess this was Wednesday night and Joel Embiid was against the Grizzlies. I believe this was Wednesday night against the Grizzlies, and Joel Embiid, because he was on minutes restrictions, they're not going to play in the second overtime of that game. And I guess that was a controversial topic, of the weekend over the Thanksgiving weekend because Joel Embiid is, ironically, he's their best player aside from maybe Jahlil Okafor and maybe a few other guys, but at this time he's their best player. And he wasn't on the floor during the whole second overtime, and I believe that he was on the floor. They won that game, and like you said, they had been on a winning streak, and because he was able to play. Um, but since he was not able to play, I think that maybe it was not the sole reason they lost. They had about 27 turnovers, um, but it's interesting to that even though he's on minute restrictions, that the organization is still scared of to see that see him hit the floor and possibly get re-injured. So I see the mentality of the organization, but at the same time, I don't necessarily agree with it because I want to see Joel Embiid play, and I think with Joel Embiid is on the floor, they're a much better team. So that's my thoughts on Joel. And, the Sixers at this point. I think going forward, they're going to be a team that might maybe win 30. If we're lucky, maybe they'll win 35 games, and might scare some good teams. Um, pushing good teams to the limit.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree. I agree with you. Yeah, they're probably going to be like 30-win team. They'll probably add an extra 10 or 5. I think they won 20, 25 last year. So the last 2 years. So they might add like 5 to 10 more games, and that's good for them. Like we said, like the two best players right now are Embiid and Okafor. Simmons comes back, I think, in early to mid January. You're gonna see it. Like it's gonna be an improved team. Like you said, they're gonna scare some teams. I think they can fight for eighth place. Like I said, with those three players, with Simmons, Okafor, and Embiid, they should make this the last year. Like I expect them to be in the lottery this year. I think I've said this on the show before, but this needs to be the last year that the Sixers are going to be in the lottery. Like I know this is Philadelphia, this is blue collar, we're Eagles, Sixers, then everything else. So they need to make this the last year. Now, the Eagles turnaround was quick, so the Sixers turnaround needs to be just as quick, so we can have two good teams again, and it won't just be the Flyers. Us waiting for a Flyers playoffs, even though I personally don't care about hockey until about then anyway. But yeah, then the Flyers won't be the only good team anymore, and we're going to be waiting an eternity for the Phillies to get better. But I'm excited. Like I said, I wrote the article again. Shameless plug. WatsonSportsTakes.com. Check it out. The Sixers are doing great right now, and Embiid is the difference. I could understand with this why the 76ers want to be careful with their big men. I think both of us mentioned before, Trey, that that with Jahlil Okafor and Embiid in the middle, they basically have a chance to be the Philadelphia Spurs. Now, if there are any Spurs fans listening, I am in no way saying that in the next couple of years the Sixers can go from what they are to being as good of an organization as the Spurs. Obviously, it's going to take maybe a year and a half to 2 more years for them to even make the playoffs again. But they have what it takes to be what the Spurs were early when they got Tim Duncan and paired him with a veteran. Now, in this case, the veteran would be Jahlil Okafor because he's been in the league a year longer than Embiid due to the injury. And So they have a chance to be the Xfinity Towers, the Comcast Towers, whatever you want to call them, and like run the city. And then they'd have the wings with Ben Simmons. Then all they would really need is a point guard. And unfortunately, even though we're not going to talk about him because who knows when Nerlens Noel will be healthy enough to play again, he's probably going to be traded. I know a lot of people are seeing like the trade rumors going around, like they trade him for like Klay Thompson. Sorry to dispel your hope, but that's probably not going to happen. There's no way we'll probably get Klay Thompson. If they did, I'd be happy, but I doubt the Warriors will actually trade Klay Thompson. But the Sixers are good. Even though the record says they're terrible, they're good. They're about 2 or 3 players away. Hopefully, they'll either draft or get another vet in free agency. They're a couple of players away from being a really good team and making the playoffs again. Like we said, they haven't been in the playoffs in 6 years. I think the last time they were in the playoffs was 2009-2010. For those of you that are Sixers fans, you would know that that's when the Sixers had Jrue Holiday and Andre Iguodala, and there was a bunch of people on that team that made the playoffs. Doug Collins was still the coach. So yeah, that was a little while ago. The Sixers were still relevant then. But they're 2 or 3 good players away from that. Trey, I think if you want to add any more thoughts to that, then we can move on to the next topic. Take off.
Yeah. You mentioned Noel being traded, and I think I mentioned this to you on Sunday, while we were eating. I don't know if this is going to happen or if it will actually happen, but one of the biggest trades was Klay Thompson actually going to the Bucks for Chris Middleton and Jabari Parker. So you're right in saying that Klay Thompson is, there's probably a 95% chance that he will not end up in the Sixers. In my opinion, a more realistic trade would be something like Nerlens Noel and maybe a guy like maybe even Saric or Gerald Henderson and Bayless for DeMarcus Cousins. And I don't know if that's realistic or not, but I don't know. But I think even that trade is a little bit more realistic than getting Klay Thompson. So you're right. And then the other thing is about the minute restrictions on Joel. Like I was saying, I understand their thought process in wanting to ensure that he's totally 100%. At the same time, in a crucial moment in the game, where he was playing very well and had given them a spark during the first overtime. I think he kind of got to scrap those minute restrictions, allowing him to play and win the game. Now, the fact that they didn't do that kind of makes me think that they're scared. On one hand, it makes me think that they're a little bit scared that maybe they'll get injured again. And on the other hand, it makes me think that they're not thinking about winning at this point, which I thought we had gotten past. I thought we had gotten past the point of tanking. But I don't know if you can rushing with that, but to me it looks like from them not putting Joel Embiid when he obviously had a huge impact on whether the Sixers will win that game or not. It definitely looks like they're not thinking about winning as a top priority.
Well, to add to your question and your suspicion, I think they are thinking about winning, but I think, Joel had a leg injury, which kept them out a year. And then last year he couldn't play because he hurt his foot playing soccer. So I think with Embiid, he's very. You have to remember that until 2 or 3 years ago, when he played, because he didn't play basketball until he got to Kansas. So he's only been playing basketball like a year, 2, 3, since high school basically. So about 4 to 6 years right now. And he's done good for somebody that has only been playing basketball for about 4 to 6 years of his life. But I think what the Sixers are doing with the men's restriction, and they had Okafor on the men's restriction as well, as we pointed out earlier. I think what they're worried about is with him, because of his leg and his foot and the recent injuries he's had, I think it's more about the health of the player and not pushing himself too hard. Because you have to remember, this is his rookie season, even though it's really not. So they're still filling out, like, what he can do, how far he can go, because they don't want to overstress him. Even though he is 21, 22, they did take Okafor off of it because he wasn't playing. So some games they would rotate where you would see Embiid and Okafor wasn't playing, and you see Okafor more than Embiid because Embiid wasn't playing because they don't want both of them to overexert themselves and get injured again. So I understand that, but like you, I don't think it's really taking. I think it's really just looking out for the future because, like, for me, if they really wanted to take, they could just be all right, if B's not playing again, we're gonna wait until next year when Simmons is healthy. Simmons is sitting out for the rest of the year. He's not playing. All you're gonna have to pay tickets for is Sarge. That's it. Y'all been waiting 3 years for Sarge to come. There you go. Because it's his rookie season too, and like I like him. He's a good player. I hope that they don't trade him because like he killed it at the Olympics. I don't know if you saw the Olympics, but when he was playing for Croatia, he killed it. And so I feel like they have something with him. Like I think he's a good 3-point shooter. I know they have Ilyasova, but I really don't trust him because like the OKC literally gave him to us, and that's always worrying to me when a team like just hands you a player. Even though he's been doing pretty good the last few games, I don't particularly trust him. Um, and like the Sixers are interesting. I guess we could talk about this now. Like I think we're kind of talking about it anyway. I think the Sixers' future is bright. I think we're both kind of positive on the Sixers' future. I think it'll be good. I think with an Embiid, Okafor, Simmons-led team, I think they could go far. Like I said, it's going to take them a couple of years to challenge Cleveland and Toronto and Atlanta for the top spots in the East. But I think they're about a year and a half, two, no more than 3 years away from being the contender again. So I'll let you add on, Trey.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I can see. I can see. I think I can see that their point of view a little bit better from that perspective. Um, so yeah, I think from that perspective, sitting and being in a situation like they did Wednesday night definitely makes a whole lot more sense. Um, if you're looking, if you're thinking more big picture. So maybe they are thinking about winning, but at that moment, the bigger picture was more important than winning that game. So overall, they are thinking about winning, but the big picture was let's keep and be healthy. He is a rookie, and he has a history of injuring his right foot. So that makes sense.
Yeah, man. I mean, like it took me a while too, because I remember like watching games and being like, "Why isn't Embiid playing? Why are they letting Okafor like just be a starting five?" Because Okafor can play too. He's still learning. This is his second year. I expect him to make a big step. But yeah. So if we're all good, we'll move on. I like to throw a curveball in here. Penn State. We haven't talked about Penn State. Penn State for my Penn State alumni, my closet Penn Staters, or my Penn State fans. Yes, Penn State is back. They're back in the top 10. They have a chance to make the Big Ten championship with Michigan's loss earlier today. Penn State is back. Um, CT3, I don't know if you're a big college football. I know you like football, but I don't know if you're college football person. But yeah, I want to throw a curveball in here because I know some people will listen to this and say, well, y'all want to talk about college football. So let's give college football some love. Talk through it through the lens of Penn State. I'm glad to see Penn State back. I'm glad James Franklin righted the ship because, like, Penn State was under a lot of sanctions and stuff due to the Sandusky thing. And right off the bat, disclaimer, um, no, I'm not going to speak for CT3. He can speak for himself on this, but I'll speak as a representative of this podcast as a whole. We do not condone uh, sexual violence of any kind. And in no way when we talk about Penn State, just so I don't hear any complaints later about this. In no way when we talk about Penn State, we're just talking about the sports aspect of it. The Sandusky thing is wrong, horrible what happened up there because of Sandusky and what he did to those children, now grown men. Um, you know, it's very horrible what happened to those people. So in no way, by talking about Penn State right now, am I in support of the hiding and all the other stuff that went on up there during those years, during the late years and early years of Joe Paterno's reign. Specifically, right now, we're talking about Penn State as it pertains to them having a chance to make it to the Big Ten championship. And whether you agree with that or not, they served their time. We can talk about the politics of it at another time. But the Big Ten championship right now, the Penn State controls its own destiny. I'm very happy that James Franklin has been able to right that ship, uh, get his recruits in, and Penn State successful again. So, so I'm very happy to see them back again. Um, don't know what happened to Trey, but if he's still here, go ahead and take off with your thoughts, Trey. There.
Sorry, man. Um,
My
yeah,
bad.
I guess back to Penn State.
Yep.
Um, I'm
I'm
looking
looking
at
at
the
the
market
market
right
right
now.
now. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm trying to look at the standings, but they played Michigan State today, and they blew Michigan State out, which is surprising. Michigan State in the past has been on the other end of the spectrum in terms of the standings, but I'm glad to see Penn State doing well again too. I think since I want to say 2013 or so, back when they had Christian Hackenberg, and they had what's his name? I can't think of the guy's name, but he's now the coach of it's the head coach of the Texans. Back when he was head coach. Since then, I've been a huge fan of Penn State. Now, my main team is the Gators, uh, but it's good to see. It's just good to see any Pennsylvania team do well, but just uh, to see Penn State kind of. But it's funny. Their basketball team and their football team have kind of stepped up in terms of their level of competitiveness. Um, so yeah, like you said, Penn State controls their own destiny, and after winning today, I think um, they'll definitely be in the Big Ten championship game, and after Michigan losing. Um, so
Yeah, man, you're right, man. Like they control their own destiny. And it's great to see. Like I said, like you said, like they haven't really been good since man, I don't know. I forgot the Texans coach was there. But he did a good job with Hackenberg and everything. But it's good to finally see them have a chance because they haven't really been. And we really want to get technical. They haven't really been Penn State since Joe Paterno was ousted and he retired and unfortunately passed away. Uh, and like it's good to see them because like it's been a while since they've been good due to sanctions and everything that happened with Sandusky. Um, like I said earlier, none of us could know that. Um, none of us could know what he did up there and Penn State's handling of that. But we're both happy to see Penn State back. And hopefully they'll make it to the playoffs. But they have to beat Ohio State. I guess I definitely think that's who they'll play. Ohio State, Penn State. That's going to be a good game, and to me, that'll be a good rivalry game because that is a great game. Penn State, Ohio State, either way. And if nothing else, if they don't make the playoffs, at least they'll be in a bowl game. So that's always good to see. Like it's always good when a Pennsylvania team does well. It was great when Temple was doing well last year when they started the year undefeated. And it's great to see Penn State as well. Pennsylvania stand up, always representing. Um, and yes, as well on the topic, Trey, who do you think will ultimately end up being in the 14 playoff?
Well, based on the standings right now, Alabama is number one, if I'm not mistaken. Number two was Ohio State, and they just beat number three, Michigan State. So I think Michigan State will probably fall down to 5 or 6. And I think that loss right there, because I believe they already had one loss, kind of knocks them out of the conversation, being in the top four. Um, Now, because of how the we've changed from having this BCS um, um, standings to the new playoff committee. Usually, the playoff committee can kind of look at when a team lost, how they lost, what were the circumstances of the loss, that type of thing. But I